let's go ahead and get right into it. Please go ahead and subscribe, share, like. All those things are greatly appreciated. First prop I'm looking at tonight is Scotty Barnes versus Phoenix. Toronto. Toronto is on a back-to-back. Take that into consideration. We're looking at his points plus rebounds prop, and you can see it's 24.5 some places, 25.5 some places. And the main sites I'm looking at are Parlay sites, which are PrizePicks, Underdog, JockMKT, and Parlay Play. Those are the ones that I deal with. I'm looking at the line of 24.5 on JockMKT and 24.5 on Parlay Play. I like the over on that. You can see over here at the books, he's a pretty heavy favorite at BetMGM and Caesars, minus 142 and minus 140 respectively to go over 24.5. Let's look at Barnes a little closer. He has, in 2023, 12 out of 18 games, he's went over 67% of the time, so that's a 67% hit rate. And if we look at the year, you can see those came earlier in the year where he was just killing 24.5 for almost every game. Now it has came down a little bit recently. Let's look at the last 10. The last 10, he only has a hit rate of 40%, only hit it 4 out of the last 10. Last 5 should be right around the same. Last 5 is 40% also. Did go over in the game last night. He had 28 points and rebounds. Phoenix is coming in to Toronto. I think the game is in Toronto. That means Phoenix was sitting there waiting for while Toronto played their game last night. I think the advantage is to Phoenix in the win or loss of this game, but I'm going to go with the numbers here. Only if we get this line at 24.5 do we take the over. 25.5 we stay away from, or even at 25. So I'm taking the over. Scotty Barnes over 24.5 points and rebounds. We're going to stick with that same game. We're going to look at Kevin Durant from Toronto versus Phoenix. Phoenix is in Toronto. 28.5, as you see, is the line for his points. It's up around 29.5 and it's starting to come down. So PrizePicks got it at 28.5. Underdog got it at 28.5. JockMKT got it at 28. I definitely like the over on JockMKT. You can go out there and get that, I think. And it's 28.5 on Parlay Play. Let's look at Durant a little closer. And Toronto's on a back-to-back. They played in New York last night. So let's look at points. Phoenix at Toronto. We're going to look at Durant. You see he has a projection of 30.01 over here on props.cash. He's went over this mark in 2023 60% of the time. Last 5, 100% of the time. Got to take that in consideration too. All streaks do come to an end. Is this the day that it comes to an end? 28.5 over here. Let's look at 2023 at 28.5. It's hit it 60% of the time, 9 out of 15 games. 2022, 2023, 39 out of 73 times. That's last season and this season combined. That's 53%. Head-to-head, 4 matchups against Toronto. We got to look at this also. In 4 matchups, let's look at versus Toronto. 22, 23. Last year, this year, he was with Brooklyn most of the time last year. He never went over 28.5 points. So obviously, they defend him well. We have to take that into consideration also. And let's look at his last 10. Again, his last 10, he's killing it. This is this year. Last 10, killing it. 80%, 8 out of 10 games. I like it that they've been sitting in Toronto last night, waiting on Toronto to finish playing in New York. I like it that Toronto's on a back-to-back. I like it that Durant is a lethal scorer. This may be the time that he go over 28.5 points versus Toronto, even though he hasn't done that at all, against Toronto in his last 4 meetings. Take that in consideration. The numbers coming down. It's at 28.5 basically everywhere. JockMKT, 28. That's the lowest odds out there for it. I think I would take the over on that. Tough selection, even though the numbers are telling us that, hey, he's probably going to go over. Tough selection. We have to take that head-to-head matchup into consideration. But I'm going to go with the numbers because the numbers are going to get us where we need to get most of the time. And over a long term, the numbers are going to make us profitable. So I'm taking Kevin Durant over 28.5 points against Toronto. Tobias Harris, rebounds plus assist. The line is 7.5. We have New Orleans versus Philadelphia. I think the game is in New Orleans. We're looking at a line of 7.5 everywhere. As you can see, he's a pretty decent favorite out of the sports books. Minus 130 at BetMGM. Minus 137 at Caesars. Minus 130 at DraftKings to go over 7.5. He's available on PrizePicks, Underdog, and JockMKT at 7.5. He's not available on Parlay Play. Let's look at him a little closer. Projection by props.cash is 6.93. You can see the line is pretty much what you see over at all the sports books. New Orleans is ranked 29th versus the small forward position. Let's look at Harris a little closer. 7.5 is a line. This season, he's hit that 11 out of 17 times, which is 65% hit rate. 22 and 23, he hit it 57% of the time, which is 57% of the. That's a 57% hit rate. 22, 23. I'm sorry, 58 out of 101. Head-to-head versus New Orleans, one game. This year and last year, 1, 2, 23. He had 7 rebounds plus assists. Last 10, he has hit it 6 out of 10 times, which is 60%. If we look at the last 5, things are down a little bit. Only 40% hit rate, 2 out of 5 in his last game against the Lakers, which was a blowout game. He only had 5. And let's look at road games. He's on the road tonight, so let's look at him away for the season. For the season away, he's hit it 4 out of 7 times, which is 57%, including his 2 back-to-back road games, 2 previous road games rather, against Oklahoma and Minnesota. He has went over. And let's look at no data available for what New Orleans has given up against the position. Let's see if it pulls up. Nope, we got nothing there. I'm leaning toward the over on Tobias Harris, 7.5 rebounds and assists. Going to follow the numbers here. Let's take away this away filter. He's hitting it 65% of the time on the season. He has been down a little bit the last 5 games. But I'm going to follow the numbers. As you can see over here for New Orleans defense, they're 26 in the league to opposing teams when giving up rebounds, and they're 22nd in the league giving up assists. Those numbers do me well. I like to see green here for the category that I'm betting on, and we're going to follow the numbers. Tobias Harris over 7.5 rebounds and assists.